In this video, atheist reads Christian Bible verses. This one, basically is, you have these social justice warriors and feminists. I'm talking about the extreme members. They attack anyone, including fellow atheists. And many of them, since many of them are atheists, that's why I'm saying that. So are they helping these theists? Here's a verse in the Bible about God's enemies attacking each other and destroying each other, which a lot of Christians believe is happening within atheism with these feminists and social justice warriors. They fail to realize that an atheist just simply doesn't believe in the existence of a God. An atheist can be a feminist, can support evolutionary biology or not. They can be social justice warriors. Some of them are pro-abortion, some are anti-abortion. Atheist just simply is someone who does not believe in the existence of a God, and that is it. But a Christian doesn't understand that. But here it is. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 16 through 23. And the watchmen of Saul in Gibeah of Benjamin looked, and behold, the multitude melted away, and they went on beating down one another. Then said Saul unto the people that were with him, Number now, and see who is gone from us. And when they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor-bearer were not there. And Saul said unto Ahiah, Bring hither the ark of God, for the ark of God was at that time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass, while Saul talked unto the priest, that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, Withdraw thy hand. And Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a great discomfiture. Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before that time, which went up with them into the camp from the country round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan. Likewise, all the men of Israel which had hid themselves in Mount Ephraim, when they heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle. So the Lord saved Israel that day, and the battle passed unto Beth-Haven. And there are several other verses in this Bible of God's enemies turning on each other. There are actually a lot of them. So Christians actually are very happy about what happens with some of these extreme people with their extreme views. For example, there's a YouTube video. Some atheists are giving a discussion on atheism, and these African Americans come in. They just simply start making a lot of noise so they couldn't talk and say, "Well, why you're here? This is black space. White people aren't supposed to be in here. Blah 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 blah. You're racist. Blah 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 blah. You're racist. Blah 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 blah. You're racist. Blah 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 blah." And you see this stuff all the time. Anytime someone's speaking, if atheists talk about Islam, all of a sudden these social justice warriors will all of a sudden be like, well, you can't badmouth Islam, blah, 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 Islam this, Islam that, they're persecuted, blah, blah, blah. They're okay if you go talk about Christianity. Just don't say nothing about Islam. They'll get really pissed off. Sam Harris, people like Sam Harris, he gets disinvited to a university, not because he's an atheist, but because he dared speak out against Islam. They'll attack anybody that doesn't have their feminist, or any atheist that don't have their feminist or social justice warrior type beliefs. They will do this. They'll talk about white privilege, or white privilege this, white privilege that. What? White privilege to be accused of being a racist just simply for having white skin? You're in an emergency room. You have to wait till your turn to be called to see a doctor. Some African Americans come in. All of a sudden, the reason they have to wait is simply because they're black, even though you're waiting also. But they'll say, well, they're going to keep, I'm not going to use the N-word. But they're going to keep N-words waiting. They're going to keep a couple of N-words waiting, blah, 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 blah. Or, you're eating at a restaurant. You're about to eat at a restaurant with your girlfriend. You have your back turned. You don't know you got a couple African Americans next to you. You're talking to your girlfriend. Your number gets called to get your seat. And they look at you, oh, you're only moving because you're a racist. Or because we're black. Or you're in a grocery store, you grab a divider to divide your groceries from someone else. All of a sudden they look at you like you're a racist. Everything is because of racism and sexism. These people have done a good job dividing us. And let's face it, Obama is responsible for it. Just like Bush is responsible for a lot of this terrorism that's happening. He's responsible for a lot of, because he invaded Iraq, he invaded Afghanistan without a plan. I personally am not going to get into it heavily in this video, but let's face it, both guys are done a lot of damage to our society. let's face it, they've done more damage than almost any president in history. And I'm not saying they're the worst presidents ever. They're not. Andrew Jackson, in my opinion, is because of the Trail of Tears. I have nothing against PC, not hurting people's feelings. But it's impossible not to. You will never see me make a video, though, insulting somebody, putting people down. I never leave nasty comments on other people's videos or on the internet anywhere. I just don't do stuff like that. I don't give thumbs down. I'm for that. But let's face it, you got to be willing to listen to other people's opinions. If you're going to pull a fire alarm or call people a racist, sexist, or homophobic, or make a bunch of noise so people can't speak, there's something wrong with you. Sorry, there is. And people will equate those people to atheists. Say, well, see, look at atheists. They're violent, they're rude, they're obnoxious. Well, those people, some of them may be atheists. Some of them are not. Some of them are theists. And Christians Christians and Muslims, they'll see this, say, well, look, see, they don't want to believe in God, so they have a new God to replace the God. And of course, it's not true, but this is what they say. I mean, you hear all this. I'm a moron. I'm stupid. I'm too stupid to come up with a decent video on this, obviously. But a video needs to be made because I just want people to see how Christians are looking at you, because they look at these verses, because they can find any verse to defend their religion. They can. And they look at this, they look at them, they're fighting each other. Atheism is going to fall eventually. Of course, atheism is not going to. And it's religion that's going to fall eventually. I mean, I believe there always will be some people that believe in a God. But let's face it, though, it's not going to be mainstream anymore. And not all social justice warriors, not all feminists are like that. Okay, majority of feminists are not going to be bad people. I've met a lot of social justice warriors that are not bad people. They know how to debate. They know how to frame an argument. Unfortunately, the problem is not really with the social justice warriors and the feminists. The problem is with our school system. They only teach you one side of the argument, which is the liberal side. And they don't teach anybody how to debate or frame an argument anymore. So you get these people, they think that free speech and arguing is yelling and screaming and not letting the other side talk. If you want free speech, that means you have to defend another person's free speech. It's especially if what they're saying is vile. If some neo-Nazi wants to speak their racist crap, you let them do it. You know why? So other people can see how vile their crap is. I've read, for example, Hitler's Mein Kampf. I mean, I don't care how much you dislike Hitler. If you listen to his videos, you go to YouTube, listen to his speeches, you read his book, you see just how disgusting, vile he is. It's a good idea to let those people speak. And it just is. All right? And turning on each other just because they talk about Islam or they talk about something you don't like is not really a good idea. I listen to everybody's views, whether I agree with them or not, because, I can learn from anybody, and I love learning things. People need to work together and not fight each other. I know it's never going to happen. I know my videos aren't going to change anything. I know. But seriously, you are helping Christians. Thanks. Feel free to like, subscribe. Feel free to watch any of my other videos. And some of you, feel free to leave the thumbs down that I know you're going to do, or whatever you want to do. Thanks.